Uh-oh. Boy, it doesn't look safe to be a DC show these days. Apologies in advance. I am a bit under the weather, so bear with me. But I got home from work. I work nights, and found this article on Cosmic Book News about some comments Kevin Smith made, I guess on his YouTube channel. I didn't see it, but good old Matt McCloy did, and talks about it here. So apparently, he was working on an episode of a series they were going to do called Strange Adventures. And oddly enough, completely forgotten about this, but this show was announced some time ago, along with the Green Lantern series. And the Green Lantern one, I remembered more, and because it kept being mentioned. But Strange Adventures would have been an anthology show of Strange Adventures. It's based on a DC comic book of the same name, and it was an anthology series, stuff like that. Would have been a lot of lesser known DC characters and that type of thing, but might have been something cool. He goes on to describe that he wanted Nicolas Cage cast as Bizarro Superman in this series, which probably would have been pretty funny. It might have been good. Who knows? But of course, that's a nod to the late '90s Superman Lives movie that Kevin Smith worked on, but never happened. And Nicolas Cage was going to play Superman in that, and so it would have been a nod to it and all that. But the show got the axe, so it's not. Apparently, it was underway even now. As he describes it. But here we get into the details. Hey, what happened? Well, it had a really high budget, around $16 to $20 million an episode, something that Kevin was surprised at, and it took him off guard. Smith figured the episodes would have the same budget as the CW/DC shows which he worked on, which was around $3 to $5 million. So it's safe to assume the Green Lantern HBO series has or had a budget of around the same, probably even higher. Because you got all that outer space stuff going on. Because some of the episodes of Strange Adventures could be a lot cheaper to do, a little more quiet episodes and stuff, and it would have been a lot better than anything on CW. Well, you would hope so with that kind of money on it. But there's the deal. It's too expensive. Can't do that, and so it's gone. And so Kevin Smith says he can't say for sure. He doesn't know for a fact, but considering what's happened here, and after last week's big hubbub over the cancellation of Batgirl, and Zaslav mentioned he wants stuff that's really good, not just thrown out there just to be there. And he's wanting a theatrical release film series for the DC properties to rival Marvel. And so that means a DC shared universe on screen. And that's, right now, appears to be only what he's interested in. It's been said that he is looking for $3 billion in savings, and just canceling Supergirl's been canceled too, but just canceling Batgirl, that ain't gonna get it. So more stuff's got to go, and Wonder Twins and all that. So it seems he's more only interested after this to concentrate on movies. So he talks about that there was going to be all these DC-oriented programs on HBO Max, and that was thought to be a draw to it and all that sort of thing. But no, Zablow says we're not going to do anything for HBO Max. It'll be movies. So you can just go through the list. The suggestion here that you're hearing that the Batman spinoffs of Penguin and Arkham are probably already dead. He says there's 4chan rumors, but it has some credibility to it. Titans, it's supposed to get another season. That was announced some time ago. They should probably scrap that. It's unfortunate. It had a pretty good cast, most of them, especially the guy playing Dick Grayson, probably the best actor they've cast in the role, but he had nothing to work with. They had some good moments. They had an excellent Superboy episode that they did in that series, but then it just got more and more stupid, and that last season was just god awful. and to give it another one, it's just crazy. So my guess is, yeah, that's gone. But with the axe falling everywhere, it's possible Superman and Lois could also be no more, despite being an excellent show. But if the idea and the framework is to push the DCEU and have your DC movie universe going, perhaps then, once it's established and is successful, they can return to DC spin-off shows for something like HBO Max and that sort of thing. Even HBO Max is in some amount of doubt. It's going to probably be folded into the overall Discovery service, and might just be an HBO Max a tab on the site. I don't know how they'll do it, but something like that, and perhaps they would return to this, but these shows would just be gone, probably forever. I don't know if they would just say, well, multiverse, so you can keep having this other Superman going while you have a Superman movie series. It'd be fine with me, but maybe they're going to return to that idea that you can't have both, and the only TV shows would be lesser known characters, which probably wouldn't work and probably wouldn't be allowed at this point. So James Gunn says Peacemaker's safe. His season 2 was announced and all that, but a lot of shows were announced. That doesn't mean they're going to happen. I heard other people suggesting that they've heard that Gotham Knights has been canceled now. It was astounding that it was even ordered to series, because it's horrible. That trailer is just awful. It's just, well, what really chapped my ass at the time was that it was announced to series. At the same time, they announced that Raised by Wolves was canceled, which is an expensive show. Raised by Wolves was excellent, but it was very expensive. So that's that. So no more of that. So yeah, even a show that's good could be in danger. So there may be no more Superman and Lois. That's unfortunate. Probably no Stargirl either, no matter how it performs. And its third season is coming, but there probably won't be a fourth. So that's unfortunate. I kind of understand what appears to be the plan, if this is true, that they're going to scrap all of that, and perhaps they could return to it. But Zaslav says he wants the DC brand to be the high point of what they produce, and for it to be successful, to get it into those theaters and make those billion-dollar movies. And if you can hit that, then it can bankroll all the other stuff, and that's true. You'll have like a surplus of money, and that could also finance a return to the spin-off TV series, which could expand on the narratives of a shared comic book universe on screen, both small and big. So anyway, a more organized approach would go a long way, because obviously that was not the case of what they had. Everything was just scattered all over the place. And so it's a 10-year plan, so perhaps that'll happen. So with what's happened and the position they're in and the debt that they've got to whittle down, there's a lot of credibility to this happening, and that could very well mean the Batman shows will not happen. It may even mean the Batman 2 won't happen. Don't know. Joker 2 is definitely happening, apparently. So you'll get that, because the great thing about it is that they can make it on the cheap. So unless you got a cheap Batman, which there's ways to do that, I would think they probably could, but maybe not. I don't know. So it's sad, because there's a lot of stuff that was good. Doom Patrol was pretty good, but it was faltering due to repetition. But it was it's probably the best that they did out of that group there. That spawned Titans and all that. Titans just fizzled pretty quickly and was nowhere near in league with Doom Patrol. But Doom Patrol just narratively seems to have run its course. I mean, it's a lot of repetition, and it's never a good thing. So odds are, even though it was announced for another season, it's probably not going to happen. Stargirl might be in trouble. If Superman and Lois in trouble, it's definitely in trouble. So you get one more season, and that'll be that. And it's set. There was potential and opportunities, but they just floundered around too much. And the CW, good lord, that stuff went on way too long and hurt the product. You know, so where now everyone looks at it and just don't want anything to do with it. You know, it didn't have to be that way, but you know, eventually you run out of time. Daddy's home, and he's mad, so he's cutting all the credit cards. That's the way it is. In the meantime, just to wait what news they have for where they're going to go, who exactly will be Superman. Hopefully it's Cavill, but hopefully soon they'll get up and running on that. Because actually the Shazam and Black Adam, the films were definitely getting along with Aquaman. We'll see what happens with the Flash. But those are all holdovers from the previous regime. After that, it's Zaslav's show. It's his show now, too. He could cancel all that if he wanted to, but what comes next will have to spin out of what has already been wrought. So we'll see what they do. But it's sad because some of these shows I thought deserved more of a chance, but time has run out, apparently. And so it's looking like none of these will survive. And it's really sad that Superman and Lois, more than likely, will be one of those.